A very good morning, students. I hope the people are good and safe. Today we are going to see about the distribution analysis. Okay. So under distribution analysis, we are going to see about an age theory. Okay. Just to recap what we saw in the last class. So we saw about the distribution. So what do you mean by an distribution? So distribution means it is a division of income among the four factor of production. See here, we have a four factor of production which has been used in the production process. One is on land, labor, capital and organization. For these four factors, we have to give a reward. For the land, we are paying as an rent, and for the labor, they receives as an wages, and for the capital, it receives as an interest, and for the organization, they will be receiving as an profit. Okay. Then we saw about the rent. So what do you mean by an rent? So rent, which has been explained by an David Ricardo. So see here, so he is a classical economist. He explains about an rent. So rent means it is an reward for the land. So the land which receives rent. So rent is the portion of produce on the earth which is paid to the landlord for the use of its original and indestructible power of the soil. So the land which has an indestructible and it has an original power, so for that we are paying a price. It is called as an rent. Then we saw about the assumptions and we saw about the illustrations, that is they have explained about the fertility of the land and how it receives a rent. So we have a three grade of soils: A grade, B grade and C grade. And people who are, when population increases, what happens to the fertility of the soil? So how they will pay the rent for the soil? So A grade, which receives an more rent because the soil is so fertile, and B grade land which is less fertile and it receives an less rent, and C grade the fertility of the land is very less, so it does not receives an any rent. Okay, so this which has been explained in this illustrations. And then we will move to the quasi rent. So quasi rent means that is it is not a type, it is made on the land. So the rent which has been paid for the man-made appliance. Okay, so see here, this is the machineries. This is called as a man-made machineries. So plant and machineries which receives as an rent. So this will be owned by someone and it has been given for the rent. So supply will be, and fixed supply cannot be increased. So if there is more demand, the price will be more. So price means it is an rent. Okay. Then we saw about the modern theory of demand, that is demand and supply theory of rent here. So under this they have explained about the transfer earning. So transfer earning means that a person who is working in one field, the amount which he has received amount, when he shifted to another field, so what is the amount which he receives? So it is, if it is more means he gets an surplus. So this is called as an transfer earning. Okay, now today we will see about wage. Okay, so wage is the most important one. So wage are the payment for the service of the labor, whether intellectually or physical. Okay, so wage is a payment. So that is labor who receives an wages. So labor receives a reward is called as an wage. Okay, so wages are the payment for the service of the labor, whether intellectually. Intellectually means by using their intellectual, or while you are using as an physical. Okay, if they used intellectually or physically, for that they will receive a wages. So wages may be paid daily, so weekly, fortnightly, monthly or yearly, and partly at the end of the year in the form of bonus. Okay, so wage can be paid in any form. Okay, now wages is the price paid to the labor for the service rendered. So wages means it is an reward for the laborer who has done an service. Okay, next we come to know about the kinds of wages. See here, we have four types of wages here. One is a nominal wage, second one is a real wage, third one is a piece wage, and fourth one is a time wage. Okay, now we will come to know about an nominal wage. Nominal wage means or money wage. It is also called as a money wage. That is, nominal wage are referred to the wages is paid in the term of money. So if a labor who is working intellectually or physically, if he is working, means he receives a certain money. Okay, that is called as a nominal wage. So whatever we will do, whatever the work we have done, so we receive a certain amount of money. It is called as a nominal wage. Next we come to know about an real wage. Real wage means it is called as an purchasing power. That is, whether with that money we can able to fulfill our basic needs. Okay, that is called as an real wage. So real wage means it is called as an purchasing power. So with that wages, whether we can able to purchase our basic needs like food, cloth and shelter, that is called as a real wage. Next we come to know about an piece wage. So piece wage means that is wages that is paid on the base of quantum of work done. So how much work? So whether you have worked for 1 hour or whether you have worked for 5 hours or whether you have worked for 8 hours. So it based on the work. It is based on the work, how much you have produced. Okay, so how much you have produced, so it is called as an piece wage. Time wage is based on the amount of time. So it is based on the time, 1 hour or 2 hours, or it is or if you have worked more than 5 hours or 8 hours. Okay, so time wages means it is based on the timing. So to that you will be receive certain amount of wages. And piece wage means it is done through the quantum of work. So how much commodity you have produced. For example, 10 books if you have produced, if you have created, or any sack of rice if you have carried, means for that you will be receiving an wages. That is called as an piece wage. So real wage means it is explains about the purchasing power, that if you receive an wages, it should be fulfills your basic needs like food, cloth and shelter. Next, money wages means it is called as an nominal wage. It is explained that what you do you will receive and money, that is called as a money wage or nominal wage. Okay, next we come to know about an subsistence theory of wage. Okay, see here, subsistence theory of wage which has been explained by an David Ricardo. Okay, so the first explained by an Physiocrast, a group of French economists, and restated by an Ricardo. So see this, Ricardo explains about the subsistence wage. See here, subsistence wage means that a minimum needs should be fulfilled. Okay, wages should fulfill the basic needs like food, cloth and shelter. See, according to this theory, wages must be equal to the subsistence level of the laborer and his family. That is, subsistence means minimum amount of food, clothing and shelter which a worker and their family require for the existence. Can you able to understand? See here, subsistence theory of wages means, so this theory which has been explained by an David Ricardo. So subsistence means that minimum need should be fulfilled by the wages. So a wage should fulfill your basic needs like food, cloth and shelter. That is called as a subsistence theory of wage. If workers are paid higher wages than the subsistence level, see here, they have explained about, they have compared with the population and wages here. So just write it, they have compared with population and wages. So if the wages are more, what happens? See here, if workers are paid higher wages than the subsistence level, okay, if they receive some more income than the subsistence, the workers would be better off and they will have a large families. So it tend to increase the families. That is, it tend to increase the population. If wages are more than the subsistence level, so they feel in their comfort. So I can able to sustain, I can fulfill all my basic needs with this level of wages. So it creates an fulfillment in the family and it increases the population. So population would increases. When population increases, the supply of labor would increases and therefore wages will comes down. So what happens when the populations are more? So again the supply of labor will be more. If there is an excessive supply of labor, automatically wages will comes down. On the other hand, if the wages are low, so what happens here? When wages are low than the subsistence level, there would be a reduction in population. So if there is a if the wages which are not able to fulfill your basic needs, so automatically population will be decreased. Population would be decreased and supply of labor would be false, and wages would be false. So wages would be increased. So on the other hand, if the wages are lower than the subsistence level, again there will be reduction in the population and the supply of labors will be fall, and again wages will increase. So this will be happen. So I will repeat: subsistence theory of wages. Subsistence theory of wages, which has been explained through population and wages. Here they have compared about the population and wages. See here, subsistence theory. Subsistence means that the wages should fulfill the basic needs like food, cloth and shelter. Okay. So if your wages fulfills your basic needs, so what happens? So it increases the population. So supply of labor will be more and wages will be started to decrease. But when the wages which is not able to fulfill your subsistence level, so automatically supply of labor will be reduced and wages will be increased. So this is called as a subsistence theory of wage. Okay. Next we go to the standard of living theory of wages. Okay. So see here, this theory which has been explained by Torrance. Okay. The standard of living theory of wages developed by Torrance in an improved and refined version of the subsistence theory of wage. Okay. According to this theory, wages is equals to the standard of living. So wages which explains your standard of living. So standard of living means the way you live. So how your presence, how your development, how is your development, that explains about the standard of living. So here they have compared between the standard of living and wages. So if your wages are more, your standard of living will be more. If your wages are less, it explains your standard of living is less. This is called as a standard of living theory of wages. Okay. So it is clear. So standard of living theory of wages, which has been defined by Torrance, and it explains about that it has been compared between the standard of living and the wages. So if your wages are more, your standard of living will be high. If your wages are less, your standard of living also will be less, because wage only explains, wage only determines, okay, whether you are poor or middle or you are in an upper class. Okay. Next, we come to know about an wage fund theory of wage. So wage fund theory. So this concept was first developed by Adam Smith. But this credit goes to J.S. Mill, who perfected this theory. So wage fund theory, which has been first developed by Adam Smith and it has been perfected by J.S. Mill. According to this, here also they have explained about the wages with a worker. So if the workers are more, okay, if there is a number of workers, the wages will be less. If the workers are less, the wages will be more. Why? Because the supply of labors are more. Okay, so the wages will be shared between the supply of the workers. If the wages are less means, if the workers are less means the wages will be more, because we need more supply of labor means automatically wages will be increased. If there is a demand for the worker, automatically wages will be increased. If there is no demand for the workers, wages will be decreased. So here they have explained about with the wage fund So wage fund means, according to Mill, every employer will keep an given amount of capital for the payment to the worker. Okay, certain amount of fund which is allocated for the worker who's doing and work in a company. So for them they have to pay. So employer will keep certain amount of fund. So it is known as an wage fund. So through that wages only they can able to distribute it. So if what happens, if the workers are more, through that fund only they will distribute the funds. If the workers are more, so what happens to the wages? So wages will be shared. If the workers are less, automatically wages will be more. Okay, next we comes to know about the residual Clement theory. Residual Clement theory of wages. So see here, this theory was propounded by an American economist, F.A. Walker, in 1875. So he explained about that it is a portion of amount. Okay, according to this theory, wages is the residual portion after paying the remuneration of all other three factors, namely land, capital and organization. So see here, after paying all the remuneration, for land they have paid an rent, and for the capital they have paid an interest, and the organization would be received as a profit. The remaining amount which has been kept, it is given for the worker. So that amount is called as a wages. Okay, so up to this wage theory is next one we come to know about an marginal productivity theory of wage. So marginal productivity theory of wages, which has been explained, that is wage should be equal, that is wage. According to this theory, wages are determined by the marginal productivity of labor and equal to its point of equilibrium, that is how much they have done and work, the wages should be equal. That is, if the owners, the employers would be extracted more from the worker, okay, but wages will be paid less. So this should not be there. So marginal productivity theory explains about the determinant that paid wages should be equal how much work which has been done by the worker. So that is the most important under marginal productivity theory. Okay, so up to this, so today we saw about an wage. So wages are the payment for the service of labor, whether intellectually or physically. So wages means it is a payment for the labor who has done and work intellectually or physically. So wages may be paid daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly or yearly, and partly at the end of the year in the form of bonus. Okay, next, meaning. So wages is the price paid to the labor for the service rendered. So wages means it is an price. So everything it is on price. Okay, so whatever they have done and work, they receive certain amount. So that is called as a price. So kinds of wages, we have in 4 kinds of wages. One is a nominal wage or money wage, a real wage, piece wage and time wage. So nominal wage or money wage means what the work which they have done, the workers which have done, they receives and money, it is called as a nominal wage. Okay, real wage means that wage explains about the purchasing power. The wage explains about the purchasing power, that is the wage should fulfills their basic needs. Piece wage means how much work they have done, that is the quantum of work done, that is called as a piece wage. Time wage means how much time they have worked, it is called as a time wage. Next, theories of wage. So subsistence theory of wage, which has been explained, they have compared between the wages and population. So if wages are more, so it fulfills their basic needs. It is more than to fulfills their basic needs means population would be increased. So if there is a excessive supply of labor, automatically wages will be decreased. When wages are less, it cannot able to fulfill their basic subsistence level, automatically supply of labor will be less and wages will be increased. So here the theory of wages, which has been explained by Ricardo. So they compared wages and population. Second one, standard of living theory of wages. This theory which has been compared between the wages and the standard of living. So wages only explains their standard. So whether they are poor, they are middle position, or they are in an upper class position. So this theory which has been given by an Torrance. Okay, standard of living theory explains that if the wages are more, the standard of living will be high. If the wages are less, the standard of living will be low. Next we come to know about an wage fund theory of wage. So first this theory was developed by Adam Smith, but this credit goes to J.S. Mill. So who has perfected this theory? See here, every employer used to keep certain amount of money as an for the worker. So that is called as an wage fund. Okay. So this theory explains that between the worker and the wage. So if the workers are more, the wages will be less. If the workers are less, wages will be more. Next one, residual Clement theory of wage. Residual Clement theory. This theory was given by an American economist, F.A. Walker, in 1875. So he explained about the concept, that is the payment which has been kept, okay, after the remuneration for all the factors like land, capital and organization, the remaining amount which has been spent, it is called as an wages. Next one, we come to know about a marginal productivity theory of wages. Marginal productivity theory of wages means that is the wages should be equal to the labor employed. Okay, so the worker, if they have done a work, that wages should be equal. It should be equal how much they have done. That is called as a marginal productivity theory of wage. So see here, according to this theory, the marginal productivity of labor and equal to its point of equilibrium, that is wages should be equal to the laborer. So this is the marginal productivity theory. Okay, I hope so. It will be very clear about the wage theories. Okay, thank you students. We will meet in the next class.